this now.
Okay, we are about to be live momentarily.
Don't forget to hit record.
You can be
That.
quiet
Thank you for reminding. I would have not said anything.
because you don't love me like Mary does. That's what it is.
On the contrary, I trust you more than Mary does.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
mis
I need,
that's the mistake on your part.
yeah, same. I'm with Alia on that. I trust you so
You
much.
would be
I'm
wrong to trust me not to trust me to
I,
press record on this shit.
I'm just a helpful assistant. That's what it is. It's not about trust. I'm your helpful assistant.
Mary's like
Right.
the one that's just making sure all the boxes are checked, and I'm just like, I could have sworn that Sheila would be like a captain of a ship that knows how to like check all of their own boxes, but like, do you know what I mean? I love you, Mary.
Oh no, there's been more than one where like Sim reminded her like when we were already about 15 or 20 minutes into the show.
And I'm like, oh, yes, I did do that. Oops. Recording in progress. Yep, that happens. Well, since I am now recording and we are now in progress, perhaps it would be really good if I just went ahead and figured out about maybe getting this show started here. Okay. Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Victoria. You look smashing. We're
Thank you.
getting ready to move into the show. Show is live. Here we go.
Yay, thank you.
We are the daughters of darkness, so take delight in our tartness. We are the fucking sisters of rage, won't stay in your goddamn cage. The goddess curse on mediocre men, no submission, you'll never reign us in. We overturn all your sacraments, cause we're nature's happy little accidents. Hurricane girls, we've made landfall. Hurricane girls, we rise above them all. Hurricane girls, destroy all in our way. Hurricane girls, they ain't got shit to say. Hurricane girls, shut up, Tetsu! Shut up, Tetsu!
This is Hurricane Girl here on a Tuesday night. I am Hurricane Chappelle. Hurricane what? What's my name? Sheila Chappelle, America's ex-girlfriend, Category 5 Hurricane Girl, here with my besties and all the resties. And I'm so happy to be here with you on a Tuesday night as we are slogging through the middle of this year. We're trying to get halfway through 2026. Is it still 2026? Because it feels like later. We are here. Hurricane Alia is here with me from the great state of Georgia. How are you tonight, Alia?
Great? Don't know about the great state. It's a state. It's
The
that.
peaches are good.
Mm, South Carolinas are better.
Okay. All right.
Our goobers are pretty good.
The mid state of Georgia. Love it.
Mid low. I'll take mid
Mid
low.
to low. Okay. All right. Well, I'm
Um,
glad you're here with us tonight.
I'm here. I'm ready to talk to our guest and hear all about the wonderful things she's doing in her run for her position. I'll let her tell you about that. But I've been following and listening to her for a long time, and I can't wait for
Same.
y'all to meet her too.
Same. And I'm hoping I'm correcting the spelling of your name there. Um, Hurricane Hillary is here with us from Massachusetts. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I hope everybody else is having a fantastic day as well. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to Victoria here. I'm excited to learn more, and I'm excited to be part of this crew tonight. Love you all.
Love you too. I'm all the way over in Illinois, so far away from me. Just a
I know.
3 hour train ride. Hurricane Sim, how are you?
You know what? I've been looking forward to this for a while. It's always good not only to hang out with my siblings and nibblings. It's always just a good time, and looking forward to chatting with our guest and just having a great evening to connect. It's always the highlight of my week.
You are the highlight of ours as well. We love you. And with us, also from the state that looks like a hand, the salty historian, Hurricane Mary. How are you?
I'm good. This is like neither here nor there, but I was watching the intro and thank you so much for not making me the one sitting on the building way up high because Morgan looked so hot and I would just be wetting myself. So I appreciate that so much.
Morgan actually geeked out about that. She was like, "You couldn't have gotten me better. Like AI knows me." So yeah, and I am from the state of I am not from the state of Ohio. Let's get that clear. I am residing in the state of Ohio, but I am from your state, Victoria. I'm from Tennessee. I'm a Memphis girl. So yeah, it's really especially great to get to talk to you tonight. We'll get the introductions out of the way here in just a second. Do want to let everybody know that what's coming up on coming weeks of Hurricane Girls. In May, we're going to be talking to Ashley, aka Lotus Ink from TikTok. We'll be talking to Crystal Bowersox, the runner-up from American Idol season 9. This month, we'll be talking to Kate Luckenbill, who is, for better or for worse, known as the granddaughter of Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball next week. And so we'll get to visit with her. She's really great, just an amazing person. And I look forward to y'all getting to know her. But tonight, we have Victoria from my home state of Tennessee. How are you tonight?
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me. I love that you're from Memphis. I didn't realize that. That's
Mm,
amazing. Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. I love knowing that there have been people who followed this entire journey. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about running for office and how I got here and all the fun queer things as well. As a queer girly myself.
ooh, that's what we like to hear. Is we like to hear the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's, the Q's, the I's, the A's, the pluses running for office because God damn things are fucked up there. Um, so
So
what
much.
um so what district in Tennessee will you be representing were you to be elected?
So I am Victoria Broderick. I'm running for Congress in Tennessee's District 4. I do not touch a major city. So no Nashville, no Chattanooga, no Knoxville, no Memphis. I am right in the middle, southern part of the state. We are the district where the drag band actually started. So that is the thing that I have to represent and figure out how we can get that walked all the way back because Tennessee's doing some really bad things right now, and it's not fun.
I used to live in like when people think about Tennessee, there is different Tennessees. Like there's
Hmm.
Memphis, Nashville, two completely different cities, Knoxville, another completely different city, Chattanooga is basically Georgia, but like I lived in like that's also different than the rural parts of Tennessee, which we're talking about. Like I lived in places like Manchester, Soddy Daisy.
So
And
Manchester's
yes.
in my district.
Okay, all right. So you got the Coffee County District. I love that.
I got Coffee
So
County.
do you have Murfreesboro in that?
I do.
Okay.
That's Rutherford County. That's the biggest county in my district. That is where I got the most votes in 2024.
I did a lot of work in that area when I was fresh out of college, when I was working for crisis response. And there yeah, I said the town Soddy Daisy, and that is an actual name of a town. I promise you it is. They had way more meth labs than people there. As I recall, but it was something else. But rural Tennessee, well known for conservatism, right? So
Hmm.
what you're one of the Democratic candidates running in the primary. What in a state that is so deeply conservative. What made you decide to take this on?
So it wasn't just one thing. My hard launch into politics was in 2024 when I found out my opponent was going to run unopposed. At the time, I was representing one of the 93 counties in the state of Tennessee. We now have all 95 have a Democratic Party. I was a chair of the for one of the counties in the party, and I was on the call, found out he was going to run unopposed. I said, over my dead body. And from Friday to Monday, I had picked up my petition and started my hard launch into politics. But what really solidified my move into politics started in 2021 when I had a IUD fail. I found out I was pregnant and was having to navigate a complicated pregnancy. Mind you, this is 2021, so Roe is still in place. And unfortunately, I miscarried. And again, had to navigate our medical care system and what it's like to be pregnant and then miscarry and what it all carries. And then a month later, found out I was pregnant again. And, and 9 months later, we gave birth to a very beautiful baby. Love him to pieces. He is the sweetest baby. But while I was on maternity leave, Roe was overturned. And I did the logical thing. I got on the internet and started yelling at people. I became the friendly neighborhood liberal and started educating people on why you need to be involved in local and state politics, why you have to vote, why you should vote, the political spectrum, all the ifs, ands, and in-betweens. And that was really where it started. I became a county chair at the time and really started just getting more involved into understanding our political system and changing the party from inside out, because right now the Democratic Party doesn't quite represent everyone, just like the Republican Party doesn't. We see that, Tennessee's not a conservative state in the sense that I think it's been gerrymandered red because there are a lot of progressives here in my district. There are a lot of people who are thinking outside the box, and there are a lot of queer people who live here, and they want and need representation that looks like them, that understands them, that respects them, it respects their existence. So all those things kind of compiled in my own journey coming out, and all those things led me to running for office, because I was like, it's not, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's it's the ability to run and do something about it, even though that you are afraid, So that is why I decided to run for office. I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm ready to go.
I love that. God, do I love that. That's yes. Obviously there are queer people come from Tennessee. I know people like, no, that's only been happening the last 15 to 30 years. No, honey, since 1970 fucking six right here.
Yes.
Like it's hard because I do live in Memphis, which is a blue spot in a very, very red state. And so living in Memphis sort of shielded me from a lot of the I want to say hatred, because there's still hatred there, but just like a lot of the political implications of being a trans woman in the Mid-South. And that, seeing people who are like myself, that gives me a lot of hope and a lot of courage that, whatever the case may be, however the ballots may fall, that we're still out there making noise, and they haven't shut us up yet. I love that.
Yeah.
But it's you're from Tennessee. Do you get a lot of blowback from your community about what kind of pushback are you facing here?
Honestly, not much as you would think. Realistically, like, one thing that this district has always done. So I'm up against a 16-year incumbent, and I'm only the second candidate to run 2 consecutive general elections. So I'm doing something that is unique. I'm the first ever candidate to run progressive. And I explain that for anyone listening, progressivism is progress with purpose. It's, if you like your weekends, that's progressivism. If you like your 8-hour workdays, that's progressivism. If you want to see your working class values representative, that's progressivism. This is what we are. As a candidate, I'm just running on working class values. I work full time. I literally just got off the clock and hopped on this Zoom to do this. And speaking on my campaign, I ran a congressional campaign in 5 months, working full time, having two tiny humans, four fur babies, and fostering with the local humane society. Um, and I grew the district. That was in 5 months. I've now been running for 2 years, and I raised over $120,000, not taking a single corporate PAC dollar, not taking any APAC money. I was openly queer, openly progressive, openly anti ICE, openly free Palestine. And you know what? It worked. People showed up, and I utilized social media in a way that they hadn't seen before and blew everyone's mind. And I'm about to do it again when I flip a seat.
I love that. I love your TikTok presence. Like that's how you and I met, it's through
Yeah.
TikTok. And I look at your site and it's like pro-democracy, pro-choice, pro-public education, pro-gun reform. You're very much out there, but like what I'm hearing from you is family values.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that when you're talking about the queer community or you're talking about um you're talking about politics, people like me don't scream family values, which is weird because I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
But like, that traditional family values of 2.5 kids, a dog, and go to church every Sunday morning, that's not the only family there is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you're living proof of that. Like you said, the tiny humans, the fur babies,
Mm-hmm.
you're not that much different than anybody else in as far as how you live your life.
Yeah.
Values speaking may be different, but um, I do want to open the floor for everybody to ask whatever questions they want, and to for you to speak on what you would like to speak on as
Yeah.
well. In fact, you've kind of given us a little bit of your platform,
Mm-hmm.
um, which you said it best, ICE needs reform, guns need reform, schools need reform. You're ready. It sounds like you're ready to dig in. Is there anything else we should know about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a gun owner. That's something that a lot of
Mhm.
Republicans respect.
Mhm.
That was something that I actually is one of the only things in my platform in the years that I've been, just politically educated. It's the only one of the only things that change. That like other things to know about me. I want to see AI be guardrailed to only be a tool because I work in the tech industry. I'm watching my career potentially go completely to AI, as well as, I previously worked in international domestic logistics. So I know what tariffs do and how they can negatively affect the shipping lanes, and just the small businesses in general, because those are the ones who suffer the most. And that affects consumers. So these are things that aren't readily on my platform, but I have 3 years worth of content talking about gender affirming care. Because as a cis woman, I got gender affirming care in 2023. I got a breast reduction, and I've talked about that openly and talked about why I needed it and all the things, as well as use that for my advocacy for my trans brothers and sisters, because I understood as a cis woman what it meant to live in a body that did not represent who I was. And I feel like makes me a stronger advocate because I'm openly sharing my experience and using the words that everyone's afraid of. No, there's nothing to be afraid of. I talk about trans rights or human rights in my speeches, and I get more claps than I get boos. So, the idea that we can't bring change and be steadfast in our beliefs, I'm not asking MAGA to vote for me. They're coming to me because they see the integrity and they see that I'm not shakable in my core values.
Love it. Well, I know a lot of us aren't from Tennessee. And by the way, if you're not from Tennessee, you can still go to her website and you can still drop a couple bucks in there just
Mm-hmm.
to help her
And you get a
in a
handwritten
place.
thank you card from yours
Yes,
truly. I write
I
all my thank you cards.
believe Alia has one of those thank you cards.
Mm-hmm.
So Alia, what do you want to ask? What do you want to talk about with Victoria?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I could not tell you where it is because I got it last year, but I remember it and I thought it was so precious that you took time to say thank you to me with your own hand instead of just sending a pre-printed or even just a basic blurb back because it was an online donation. It could have just easily been a return, thank you, da 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 da, and that would be it. But you took the time to say thank you because it meant something to you. I don't have a lot of money to just throw around, but I would listen to you and where I would hear you and I just thought, this is my neighbor to the north. I agree with everything that she is representing. I am supporting the best way I can without actually living in that district and voting for her in that district. And so I did what I could. I would listen every time that you were up on Matt's panel. I would hear you, and I would listen to Matt just about every day in the morning. And for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about USMC Angry Veteran, and hope he's doing okay. But that's not our
Friend of
guest.
the show, by the way. Yeah.
Yes,
But anyway, I was just like, dang, this girl has the mind it takes, the will it takes. She just needs the funds.
yeah.
And so I was like, give her money, honey. So if you're listening, go give her some money, honey. You got $5 that you don't go spend it on, like take a break, make some coffee at home instead of getting your half calf double whip frap.
Don't be attacking my Starbucks habit now. Come on.
Wait, what
What
do you drink?
I like just a simple mocha, honestly, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sometimes I like to guess because I spent my college years, so I went to university full time, and worked at the Bucks. So I love to know people's drink orders and then know if it matches up to who I think that they are and what
Well,
they
I
Ooh,
probably
think mine
don't look like
is.
a very simple black coffee drinker, I would imagine, but
hmm I
yeah,
don't. I was gonna say I don't think that you're. There are a lot of people that they think that they're that they give off like black coffee vibes. No, my husband, my beautiful man, the only man I will ever love again. He is a basic white girl. Like he gets the most basic white girl drinks every time we go, and they'll always try to hand it to me, and I'm like, no, no, honey, that is all him. I drink the coffee that puts the hair in the chest. He must sweet of Victoria drinks that.
I love a Victoria. Nice
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale reference there. Love that. I think we should start doing that here in this country. Men should no longer have names. They should just be of whoever.
I have a thread going that I said if I get a certain amount of votes, he agreed that he would create I think it was a Mr. Victoria for Congress, or there was like a caveat that he would do the of Victoria for Congress instead.
Dude,
So
I
if you guys can go find that thread, do you think?
I feel like I should say before I say fuck shittery like I do, I represent me, not her. So if you hear me say some crazy fuck shit, you still should vote for her. Um,
No, I
Mary?
love it. Do it.
I was not done. Hold on, hold on,
Oh,
hold
I'm sorry.
Okay, okay, wait,
on.
we have
Oh,
to
you're
get your
like,
drink.
God.
I want to know what Victoria thinks my drink order is. That's
What's your favorite?
I'm going to hear what she thinks everybody's drink order is. After
Okay.
you meet everybody though.
Okay, I gotta meet everyone. We'll make this part of this. I always like fun stuff. Trying to think. Okay, do you prefer hot or iced?
Hot.
Do you drink a caramel macchiato?
I will if I have to, but here's a hint. It's a seasonal drink that I get all the time anyway.
Oh, is it a salted caramel what is it? What's the word? Salted caramel mocha, whatever it is, it's a seasonal drink, or is it a peppermint mocha?
It's peppermint. It's
Oh,
triple venti peppermint mocha. I need
you
the
do.
triple venti.
I'm so proud of you for doing a triple. You have no
I
idea.
mean, I would go quad if it didn't give me too many shakes. But anyway, thank you so much for guessing my order. And thank you so much for being you. So proud of you. Keep up the good work. I will say it again before the end of the show. Next, please.
Mary, What would you like to talk about with our guest or ask our guest?
Well, I actually have a politician here, so I'm going with the historical angle.
Love it. Love it. Let's go.
So historically and obviously now, men erase strong and capable women because they make them look bad. And it's not difficult to imagine that you get criticism for your looks or your tone of voice or the length of your skirt or for not having a peener. So what do you do to disarm those people and to take them down a notch? Because I feel like you do.
Oh yeah, I do. Fun fact: there's only one time I've been yelled at by a mediocre man, and in the district, it was a MAGA man who was very angry, and I stood my ground to the point that everyone around was like, "No, she's got it," and he ran away. And I said, "God bless you," as he ran away from me. And he said, "I don't want your evil liberal prayers," and I took that. Oh, I lived on that for like a week. It was the best compliment I've ever had. Most of the time, I just disarm them. The question I started asking really early on, especially because I get a lot of advice. I don't know what it is about a cute little blonde that they feel like they need to tell me, like, "Oh, you should do this," and I'm like, "Would you give that advice to a man?" And if they say no, like if they stutter at any point in time, I was like, "Okay, then you probably shouldn't have given it to me." Now, if we have a good relationship, I might say I might be like, "Why do you feel like that's something you should say?" Like, or if the biggest one that I get, especially from women, is they'll be like, "Well, who's watching your children? How are you going to manage?" I was like, "They have a perfectly good father at home. Victoria does really well." And a lot of the time it gets me a nice laugh. So I'm respectful, but I do match energy. I have no issues being fun sized and feral. I'm 5'2" and a half, and the half does count. Sometimes people just need to know.
Love that. Sorry.
But what would Mary's drink be?
You
We have to know
can
that.
you can buy a fun sized and feral on my website. Go click that link in bio. I do have my
I
stuff.
love that.
And it's in
Oh my
pink.
God.
There's a pink one there, and I have options. I want to do like a queer one at some point. I do it myself. So anyway, Mary, do you drink hot or iced?
Hot.
Hot.
But I'll do iced as long as it doesn't go from hot to cold, because that's disgusting.
That's true. Okay. What's your favorite flavor?
Depends on the day.
Why do I feel like you drink like a chai tea latte? Did you freeze?
I think you're no.
I'm a little speechless because like if I ever go to a place like Starbucks, yeah, that's my go-to. Or I'll get a mocha, a skinny mocha.
I knew it.
Oh,
I was
when
like,
you said chai tea, I knew you had her
I'm
nailed.
like,
the
how?
way you answered just kind of give clues, and then I just like kind of like think about like different people who come through, because like everybody like I drink cold brew. Like I'm a cold brew. I love my venti cold brew, 4 pumps vanilla, half and half. If I'm gonna drink at Starbucks, like I'm not crossing the picket line right now, but that's what I drink. And also $6, you want to donate and show that you were listening tonight, donate $6 because that's about how much my drink costs. Thank you. But yeah, no, I love that you drink a chai tea latte. That's my best friend. That is her order. Like that is one of her orders. So like I memorize a lot of my friends' orders. That's just something I do. It's statism. I'm running openly neurodivergent too.
I love that so much. Thank you. Like I'm the B in the LGBTQI community. I've got ADHD, and it's so amazing every time we're able to see somebody, because I didn't have representation growing up, and I didn't even come out till I was 43. So very recently. But the fact that there are people actually openly running, like I'm not going to cry, Sheila. It hasn't happened yet this season.
You are.
But I think it's so important that you're out there and you're not afraid with it. Like I think there was a trans woman who was voted in and was just like, no, I'll agree to not use the bathroom.
Sarah McBride was
Yes,
not
thank
happy
you.
about that.
I'm bad with names, but like why give in? And that's why men get to erase us and get to erase trans people and get to erase people of color, because we don't stand up and be like, what the fuck? Sorry.
Yeah. No, cuss. Say all the cuss words. It makes me feel better because I'm gonna drop one here soon. My goal is I get an extra drink. if I don't cuss during my speeches because it's the only. That's the other thing is men only focus on when I cuss.
Yes.
They're like I'll
Yes.
say fuck one time, and they miss everything else.
You need
that
one
I
of my
said.
shirts. You need one of my shirts. I have a shirt because of the Salty Historian, and I say it a lot in my videos. It says fucking duh.
Mhm.
That would be great for those men.
Oh God, it'd be so good. But see,
And
I can't stop at one because I use it like it's punctuation.
Yeah, it's the best
for
word. It's
real.
so versatile. Be any part of speech. Anyway, stop
I
letting
need
me
to
talk. Go on,
I
Sheila.
need to crash out for just a second on Sarah McBride, which I love the fact that Sarah McBride got elected. But the fact that the first thing she fucking did when she fucking got in there was cave on the bathroom thing. I'm like, ma'am, ma'am, stand 10 toes down, please. I need you chin up and tits out there.
Yeah.
Come like stand for something, please. Don't just come into office and be like, okay, old white men, I'll do what you tell me to.
You know what I would have done? Like if I was one of her people, I'd been like, okay, cool. I'm going straight to the men's restroom, and I would walk out with my middle finger up and go into the men's restroom and use their bathroom. Like, why not? Why? What? No, I'm 5'2.5". I'm a millennial. Got one foot in the ground. Let's go.
Nobody's ever had a problem with cis women in the men's bathroom.
Look,
Is
at a
it happens all the
concert,
time.
I went to a Pink concert, and you know what? The men's line was not long. And my girlfriends and I, we said, let's go. And do you know every single one of those men looked scared? They were all like, what's going on? Guys, calm down. It'd be fine. You're at a Pink concert. Let's go.
Yeah, I love Sarah McBride, but I was supremely disappointed in her at that point that because when you vote, if you are able as a trans woman to get enough votes to go into office like that, I feel like you can do whatever the fuck you want to because we're literally one of the most discriminated against identities that there is in America. If you can get your ass in there, don't let them tell you what to do and don't let them see you blink.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
swear to God, I would have pissed right there on the floor if somebody had told me to do that.
It's
They
like
would have
the
I would
first
have been
person who
livid.
flinches, or it's like the first
Mhm.
person who speaks after a job offer. They've already lost. That's why you have to stay silent. Make them like. I just watched Crazy Rich Asians a while back, and she goes bok bok, like it was like this like part of the movie. I watch too much TV. Anyway, the point is, she's like, don't let them make them chicken out. Make them chicken. Call their bluff.
Uh-huh.
Make them afraid because that's what they hate. They don't want to be. They're afraid of something that's not actually scary.
Because I would have just looked at him and just been like inching my way towards the bathroom. I'm like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I touched it. It's
Hillary,
mine.
Hillary, Hillary seemed to key in on one point that you mentioned, which is you're running as openly neurodivergent, and we are all in at least some ways neurodivergent, but Hillary has often talked about hers. So, Hillary, I give you the floor here.
I am very neurodivergent, autism and ADHD.
Yeah.
Uh,
Same.
so I have it coming from both angles. And I kind of don't know how to pick up on social cues a lot of the time because of it. So it kind of causes some trouble for me, but I love everybody anyways. Um, so that is a question that I have. How have you used your skill, like your strengths as a neurodivergent person to help um your campaign? Have you used it to strengthen your campaign and make it so that people are aware that we can do anything that the average neurotypical can do? Because that is something that every neurodivergent person needs to strive for, to show that we can be badass too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing that I really, really would like to know.
Yeah, I mean, this was something that was like a huge hurdle for me, especially right in the beginning, because I'm not a public speaker. I really, really struggled with that, especially in the beginning. A lot of people heard my speeches, and I had to find ways to be more comfortable. How do I not stem as much in front? Because it is offsetting. I'm one of those, I'm autistic, but it's more self-diagnosed because it's looking like my son has it, my oldest. So, and they're like, well, if he has it, you have it. And I was like, I don't. I listened to TikTok for a little while and found out that I definitely was on the spectrum, and it made sense. It made sense to me. I mean, I knew I knew I had ADHD, which is I'm very athletic, very all over the place, high energy. A lot of people, that's the first thing they comment on as a like running a campaign is like they're like, you go and go and go and go. It's like, but you miss the crash out, you miss the like checkout, which comes from my ADHD and my autism because I struggle with social cues. I end up having to look for other people for social cues. And when someone is more neurodivergent than I am and they don't cue, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? But I utilize this in my speeches. I talk about it. I tell people if they call it out, I'm like, no, that's the fact that I have ADHD. And a lot of moms will come up and thank me for not being weird with their kids. And I'm like, well, I'm neurodivergent. Why would I make them feel any sort of way? Or volunteers on my campaign. We have several neurodivergent people who are always thankful that I'm open about it, that I'm very relaxed in how I respond to things. I try to be respectful and understand different cues. And it's been interesting as well because my campaign looks different. It looks different from other campaigns, but I've made it work. So I'm not saying it will be perfect for you all, but it has been very rewarding. I've learned so much about myself running and being open because representation, like Mary was saying, representation does matter. And seeing someone who has all these different hats that they put on that is part of who I am and being open about it, not being afraid and utilizing my privilege as well makes for a better candidate, and it makes people feel seen. It's just like seeing a movie where your character where you relate with, like it feels good. And we want to see that in politics too. And yeah, I think that it's been a very interesting race for me on that regard.
All right, what's Hillary's drink?
Hillary, hot or ice?
Iced.
Iced. What's your favorite flavor?
Vanilla.
Because I don't think it's a caramel macchiato. That's the thing. I think it's a vanilla latte. Iced vanilla latte? Oh, yeah. Which technically a caramel macchiato is just a vanilla latte, but like I don't want to ruin people's lives.
Undefeated so far. Love
I
that.
also add a protein milk boost now because I need because I'm a pescatarian, so I eat less meat than the average person.
Me too.
You're a pescatarian too?
I'm an ovo-lacto pescatarian. Do you want to hear how that happened? Do you guys want to hear how I became an ovo-lacto? It was a dare in high school. I won. I had a boyfriend.
See, this is why you do not dare an ADHD person to do anything. We will win.
Oh, I won by a lot. Like, I'm probably gonna message him after this and be like, "You remember when we were dated and we made that dare? I still win.
I'm still winning. God damn it!"
My goal in life is to have 1,000 side quests where I'm petty, so that way other people can realize that they can't fuck people over. So that way they can realize 10 years later, hey, you shouldn't have fucked me over. I can still be petty about that thing.
Sheila knows how petty I can be. I don't get mad, I get even.
Correct. Yes.
That is autistic too. Oh, I love it. Everybody vote for her.
Coming in here from the left coast, state of California, here is Sasha. Hey, how are you today?
Hi. It's so windy here. Like, just getting out of my car, like, I'm so disheveled.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't have been able to tell. You look great.
She always looks great. That's the thing. She's always disheveled, but she looks like a 10.
Oh, I relate with that. I say that too.
It's so windy here. Like, I don't understand.
Sim, just mostly because I want to know what kind of coffee that you're going to get. here is what did you want to ask, add, smart remark? What did you want to contribute here?
Me, smart remarks? Never.
Never,
Um,
never.
so, it's interesting because I kind of like through listening to you, I like the dichotomy of like, on one hand, you talk about being autistic and kind of struggling with social cues at times, but then on the other hand, it's a very purposeful intention as a barista to really kind of see if you can guess or anticipate what people's needs are. Like, how do you how does that shape the way you kind of build your relationships with constituents? Because it seems like those skills kind of really are merging in a really, really neat way. How do you feel like that changes how you interact with constituents?
So what's interesting is that I didn't talk about this. I have a warm up every single time I go to an event, I do an interview, a podcast, anything. So I have a warm up every single time. I listen to my running playlist because I used to run more often. And so it happened one time before an event that I just happened to I have a playlist for everything because I am a typical millennial. I have a thing for everything, probably Tism too, but and so I warm up every single time. And what it's done is it puts me in this mindset where I'm like a barista again, and I'm more personable. And it's like almost like the shell that like a self-protection comes on. And I'm like, I can function normally and still have like those things, but people really relate to it. Being bubbly, being blonde, they tend to immediately feel almost thrown off by the way I am. And the comment I get a lot out is I feel like I can have a drink with you. Like that, people literally will be like, I just feel like I can have a drink with you. I can chat about anything. And part of that skill is that barista, where I learned, even though the corporations kind of gone south, they had some really good training methods, or like when I started working, and being able to like articulate that and make people want to, talk to me, and I can smile in the right way, and I'm listening and I'm empathetic because I do in fact care. Like that's one of the other parts is I care what my constituents feel, and that comes across, and it comes across in my speeches. Like I have the political answer, but I still sound human. And that's something that I've not changed in my, like how I address people, even when people don't like it that I cuss, they don't like that I have tattoos, they don't like the way I talk about being openly neurodivergent. I just am saying, well, that might work for you, but it's not worked. Having a cookie cutter candidate has not worked. Having a moderate candidate has not flipped this district back. So if I grew the district being my authentic self, don't you think that that's what people want to see in their politicians? They don't want perfection. They want authenticity.
Human.
They want a human. I'm just a human at the end of the day, guys. I'm just gonna hop off here, go rewatch Mad Men, and color in my cursing coloring book. Like that's how I decompress.
Yeah.
I mean, so I too was a barista. So I definitely get what you're saying, especially with, I'm assuming you were a barista like for the Mermaid Tale.
Yes. Or the
Okay, yeah.
siren, the
Yes.
siren thing.
Yes,
I'm kind of
yes.
like a siren.
Yes, me too. But yes, while the company has kind of lost its mind a bit, they did have really, really good training techniques in regards to just like being your authentic self. Like nothing was fake, like I am literally this bubbly. Like, like there was
Totally. Yeah.
I'm that way too. Like people are like,
No,
you're
yeah.
like a puppy dog.
Yeah, like
And I'm
I
like,
am literally
yeah.
like, let's talk. Oh my God, like I love your shirt. Where'd you get that? And so I like that they did like emphasize like just be human, just be normal, just be, just be a person. So yeah, I absolutely can see
So
that.
just so everybody knows, it's not a ghost attacking me in the background. It's my daughter who walked past me and my hair got stuck in her jacket. And so I was like,
Oh.
that's how that happened. But she is here right now. And by the way, we need to get Sim's drink order.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
think
we gotta go
were you
back.
were you done, Sim? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
No, I'm good.
Okay, okay, your drink order then. Let's see.
Hot or ice?
Either way.
Favorite
Sorry, that's
flavor?
food in my mouth.
Okay.
Mm. Something sweet.
So, Miss Broderick,
You
Wait a
like it
second.
sweet. So you like it sweet. Okay. Why do I feel like a white mocha? I'm getting maybe because that's one of the sweeter ones.
Mm-mm.
Did I get? Oh, dang it! Something sweet.
First strike. Oh my goodness.
And you don't have a favorite flavor, but you do like
Well,
a
let's see.
hot.
If I did, probably something with a hint of cinnamon, not too strong. It can't be too strong though.
Iced cinnamon
Cinna-
dolce.
Do what'd you say, Sasha?
Cinnamon dolce latte. I forgot about
No.
cinnamon dolce.
Iced
No?
cinnamon dolce.
Is it a chai tea? Is it a chai tea latte?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, you threw me off with the hotter ice. I should have gone back to my tea tea.
You're right
So-
there.
Well,
You just had to go with your gut. You knew it.
Yeah, I didn't. I doubted myself for a second.
Don't do that. Don't ever doubt yourself.
I know.
So welcome onto the show. Hurricane Sam is with us today from my very own living room here. My daughter, Hurricane Sam, she did want to ask a question of you, Victoria, and so
Hi.
I'll give her the floor.
hey, Miss Victoria.
Hi.
I had a question for you. So I come from the great state of Texas, and I was curious as to whether or not you've ever met Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, that's a great question. So I haven't met Beto. I actually lived in Texas, in Dallas, when Beto was running. And that was when I really started following along. I was also harassing Ted Cruz and Senator Cornyn because they drive me nuts. But I have not met him, but I know people who have met him. They adore him, both when I lived in Texas and now that I'm in the political sphere. And that is on my list of people that I want to meet. I have met Jamie Raskin, and there was one other senator out of New York City that I met, but I can't remember her name right now.
Well, we are hoping that you will meet all of them shortly once you have been elected into our halls of Congress here. Go ahead.
I feel like you like Beto because he liked my service dog, and he's very upfront. He's very honest. And if you got elected into Congress, what would you do about expansion of Medicaid for people with disabilities like myself?
Oh, I want to see it expanded. I actually want to see our services um, expanded and revamped because I recognize that there's so many services specifically with disabled people or people who suffer from mental health disorders that they kind of fall through the cracks because there's not this like cohesive. I would like to see more service animal opportunities because like our veterans, USMC, we were talking about earlier, that process is really long. And I know you understand that as well. And, service animals are important. It is it's like part of your arm. They are vital to your life and your comfort. So I want to see that expanded. And I also would like to see it so that more people have opportunities for even just fur babies and, foster animals. I want to make that more affordable so that people can have that comfort because even if maybe you don't require a service animal, having an anxiety, I have clearly I have lots of pets and I foster. So I need all the emotional support. But that should be something that is easily accessible to people because it requires comfort and it provides comfort as well as it meets a need and it addresses our societal what's going on in our communities if we fully fund those so that people have readily available funds so they can go out and get a cute little fur baby because they're just your babies.
Because one request I would actually have is paperwork, like legitimate certification for these service animals, so that because my service dog Luna has actually gotten attacked by reactive service dogs in public, and there's nothing that can really be done
And I
because
think
people
that
can claim that it's a service dog and smack a vest on it from Amazon, and people can buy certifications off of Amazon, and it's hard to differentiate unless you know the service dog industry that understand that it's a legitimate animal based off of behavior.
Yes. And I think that that's something that's really, really important because what we're seeing is those people who are doing it, they're wanting the benefits. Maybe they need coming at the kindness aspect. Maybe they want to serve as animal, but they don't meet every qualification. So opening those services up, fully funding them and making it more possible and readily available, as well as putting some limitations on our corporations so that they do have like a service number with it they get with that. Just like when you go and order contacts, like you have to have a prescription. You should be have to have a prescription to get that. I think is while also addressing the need is there's clearly a need. We want our animals out and with us and we love them. They're our babies. So if that's your reason, then we need to make it more accessible in that way, as well as making sure that our service animals and their the people that need them aren't getting harmed because someone just wants to take their dog to Walmart.
Mhm. Well, I think it's a great campaign platform that if you love dogs or animals, you should vote for Victoria.
You should. I
Period.
adore them. I would
Mhm.
have a rescue. That's probably what I would use. That's how I would go bankrupt after winning the lottery.
Because Luna is my service animal whom I rescued. However, I had to train her properly, right? Neutrality toward animals and people,
Mm-hmm.
leaving food on the floor, understanding that the first time I tell her to do something, she's to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
training her for cardiac and seizure alert and response.
Yeah.
It
And
should have
that
been a
should
lot
be
easier for you.
possible. It should
Mhm.
be it should be easy. It should be readily available. If you can do it yourself, great. That should be rewarded with, so that we can get the certification. As well as like if you can't do it yourself, that should be affordable and accessible. So I
Right.
mean, and we should also be utilizing our humane societies because some of these dogs are perfectly capable of providing these services, but they're just not the right breed. Whereas I had a cattle dog who passed away a couple months ago now, and she could tell me exactly when I was having a PTSD episode, exactly when I was having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, and she was great. Nobody trained her to do that. She just did it. And, when we worked with her, she showed all the signs. I just never decided to move forward with taking it further. But if it was available and an option, I probably would have.
Because Luna's a Siberian Husky and she's the last breed you'd expect to be a
Mm-hmm.
service animal. But then also, it's the fact that I was like, if I never got Luna back, my mom and I were looking at prices for service dogs, and the cheapest one we could find was 21,000, and insurance will not help cover that.
Yeah. And quite often there's a long wait list if you do qualify.
Yep.
There's and like our veterans, USMC Angry Veteran, he's a great Matt. He's a great example of this. Like, he needs a service animal and he had to wait for a while and there's recertifications that have to happen and all these things and it should be available and easy for them, especially veterans, but anyone should be able to access the care that they need and however the care looks. For what works for one person might not work for the next person. So one person might perfectly fine with a service animal. Another one might need medication, and we should have the resources to make that happen for everyone.
Well, unfortunately, what I will say is when you are looking for a dog from a reputable breeder,
Mm-hmm.
they are getting these puppies at 6 weeks, right? And they are temperament testing these dogs, and 80% of these dogs don't make it. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't get your dog until they're around 2 years old, until you go you speak with the intake person, right? After you've paid up up
Mm-hmm.
front, and they will speak to you about what your needs are, right? Whether it's like diabetic, seizure alert, cardiac, any of that, mobility aid, that kind of thing. And then they will keep the puppy and train it, early socialization, basic obedience to advance, that kind of thing. And that takes up to 2 years until you meet with the dog and you do bonding exercises with the dog. And then the trainer trains you so that way you know how to handle your new dog. And that takes several more weeks until you actually go home with the dog.
Hmm. It's a long process, and a lot of people don't recognize that. I got a little distracted because there are two cats,
Right?
and I was like,
Everybody's got their pussy out on
I know,
screen.
where's mine?
Yeah.
They're in the house, probably
Sim,
yelling at my husband.
Sim, you've had your hand raised here in the Zoom for a bit. Do we want to get Sam's coffee order here first, or
Ooh, Sam, hot or
yeah,
iced?
Mine?
yeah,
Do
this
you
may be a
drink
trick
coffee?
question for Sam.
Oh, I can't drink anything with caffeine. My heart rate will get too high and then that will induce a seizure.
So do you drink like a double chocolate chip frappuccino? Because those don't have caffeine.
I had one for my stress test and my heart rate got up to 206 and then I
Wait,
just
what? That's insane. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, vanilla
we
bean
have some.
frappuccinos only.
We have some issues here with caffeine and seizures, so yeah, that
Totally
was a
fine.
trick question.
yeah, I had a TBI and I've never had any health issues until after that and now
Yeah.
living the
Yeah, no,
dream.
I know how that I can't relate because I drink 2 pots of coffee and almost a pot of or no, 2 pots of tea and then then a pot of coffee. But fun size and feral guys. But I will say that if you can't drink caffeine, don't do it.
No, I don't like it anyway. I don't like coffee. I don't like caffeine.
I hog up all the caffeine in the house.
That's hey,
Yeah.
that's what
This
I
is
do.
my unmedicated ADHD right here.
Yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
my Marlboro Red 100s.
I love that.
Valid.
Valid. I mean, as I never understood why politicians smoked until I ran for office because I'm a politician now.
Sim, what did you want to add to all that?
So I wanted to kind of, well, first of all, before I go, does anybody else need to ask a question before I step on somebody that hasn't had a chance yet? So because I've already kind of asked, so I don't want to step over somebody else that hasn't had a chance yet.
No, go
Sasha's
ahead.
too disheveled to ask a
I'm too
question.
disheveled to think of anything right now.
I'll give you a moment to compose yourself, my love, and we'll go back to you. We'll circle back. So I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Sam had talked about, because I think one of the things I've noticed, I've been a full-time wheelchair user for decades, and one of the things that I see as one of the inherent problems is enforcement of the things that are already law.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's from the ADA down, right? The ADA has been, the Americans with Disabilities Act has been enacted since 1990, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's still difficult now to get anybody to do anything about simple things like somebody parking illegally in a handicap parking lot, right? And
Mm-hmm.
in some place like a restaurant, that's one thing. But when you're talking about like a grocery store or a doctor's office or things like that, that's a very specific need that's not able to be met for people because people are doing those things in violation of the laws that are there. And
Mm-hmm.
I see all over the country there's great signs on most handicap accessible parking spaces that say there's an X amount of a fine, right, for
Mm-hmm.
violating for parking there. But that goes back to it's only as good as it's enforced.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess my question is, I know like on your first day and during the time there, you're going to have so many things that you want to change, but what do you think would be some things that maybe you could do, like would be in your purview to be able to make that enforcement a little stricter, a little
Mm-hmm.
more consistent for people with disabilities, not just in the handicap example that I gave you of parking, but just in general in terms of, the laws as it relates to disability needs in the community.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like something specific to that, I can't answer. What I do know is that a lack of funding a lot of the times does play into it, where we don't have proper resources. Our police officers, they're handling mental health issues when if we had the proper funding, we could have them be able to enforce, a parking violation like that instead of handing out to a house that just needed someone, a mental health professional, to show up and de-escalate, and then if the police are needed there. So that's a way that we can handle it. I think also addressing our medical needs, making Medicare for all available day one also helps with that, because not only does it mean that people who need accessibility or need treatment are getting that treatment, it means that we're catching things early. We're making sure that people are better, are healthier. And then on the other side of that, addressing public transportation, because we're relying on a lot of people driving everywhere, and most of the United States was built after the 1940s, the invention of the car. What that means is that our cities they're not community focused. We have these big parking lots. So people don't want to walk from the back of the parking lot. Well, if we take, some of those people and put them on public transportation where they don't have to feel the need to drive, or it's more walkable, those parking spaces are available, so that someone's not utilizing it when they don't need to. And then public transportation also offers something that we don't have already, is it's accessible in rural areas. And, while I can't answer the actual question that you asked, politicians learning on the fly, I can say that those things can lessen that. So lessen your experience. And maybe that solves the problem. Maybe we don't need the enforcement because two things fix it. But addressing all of those things, addressing the root cause of the needs, I think will better your life experience will be better. Your experience going out shopping, out and about in your community, as well as it benefits the community as a whole.
Okay, thank you.
That was a
Sasha,
harder question. I'm not going to lie. That wasn't a softball.
Sasha, what would you like to ask, comment, make a smart remark on? What would you like to
A
do?
smart remark.
Mhm.
So I work for the Department of Social Services. My clientele are individuals receiving cash aid, SNAP, CalFresh, or food stamps, of course, Medicaid. What I'm finding, and I'm in California, and I know that, like, you're not even here. But still, I guess I'd just kind of like to hear what your thoughts might be on one of the major problems that I feel that I face just as a worker. We don't have a lot of programs for young people with no children.
Yeah.
So, the majority of our programs are for individuals who are, married mom and dad, or single mom, single dad, or grandparent, child caretaker plus child, right? But we have this whole community of young adults who are unhoused, who are kicked out of their homes because, the majority, for us here, it's because they're LGBTQ. So they're kicked out of their homes. I live in a predominantly Hispanic area. So a lot of religion, Catholicism, all of that stuff, plays into a lot of it. So I feel like, just like, my hands are tied all the time, because a lot of my clients are, 19. So, like, they can't get anything anymore with their parents because they're 19. They're 19 to 20 some, and there's nothing for them to, like a CalWorks program or like a Cash Aid program, where if you are enrolled in it, you're able to take classes or get your GED, or they'll send you to school or a trade school, etc. And I guess I feel like I haven't really heard anybody speak on, like, what are we going to do about our youth? Like our young adults, more so like our young adults. Like, we have a really high unhoused population here, huge. And like I said, a lot of it is individuals who run away from their own abuse at home, are kicked out of their home, or because they got pregnant, they were kicked out. You know what I mean? It's just so many things. And I have, especially for young men, I don't have, there aren't any male homeless shelters here. I don't know. I hadn't, and I'm very much into politics and I follow a lot of people, and I just really haven't heard anybody talk about that, like that part of the community that I feel is just kind of, being looked over.
Well, I mean, a lot of this falls on, like, it's a couple different categories. I always tell people that politics isn't this issue and this issue. A lot of it's intersection. There's an intersectionality for all of it that we can address all of it. So, like, expanding SNAP benefits, no brainer. Making sure that it's accessible. I think that the thing that's happened in our country is, like, our healthcare, for example. A lot of these teenagers need access to healthcare. They need access to medical, mental health, etc. And if they're, especially when they're in that time frame, people don't realize that between like 15 to like 24, if it's a runaway, if it's someone who's kicked out for being LGBTQAI plus, if it is a mental health, which will show up later in those like early 20s, youthish time, if we don't address, if we don't have access to mental health care, we can't catch that stuff early on. Having an education system that educates on all type of, that makes you feel more inclusive, makes you understand, we can catch those things earlier. Instead of saying, call the parents, we say, okay, here's this kid, we'll inform the parents, and how they react, we can say, okay, maybe this child's going to need to be divorce their parents. Maybe they're going to need those additional resources. How can we make it inclusive and have these catch programs that catch because everyone has the opportunity for success. It's just not equitable most of the time.
Correct.
If you're starting at the bottom, it's a lot further to go up than coming out of a mid-level income family who's pretty okay inclusive and like all those things. They have that leg up that someone else who's going to have to make up that difference. And then it eliminates the houselessness. It eliminates, for addressing the mental health issues. Our veterans are caught. Our youth is caught. Those early 20s are caught. LGBTQAI plus youth is caught because they're not just sent out onto the streets. There's someone there saying, hey, we have this option because it's funded. It is there for you to support you. And so it's multifaceted. And it should be addressed. And, a lot of that, when people if you don't see a policy that fits, ask the candidate. And don't be surprised if they give you some BS answer, because, we can all talk in circles, but also look at their platform. If you see universal health care, if you see those types of things, Medicaid for all, you can assume that those are going to be fun, things that they want to see. But ask the question, because a lot of these politicians, what we're finding, they don't have these built out platforms. We're still learning on the fly. We want to know what voters want, as well as educating voters and making them understand why these can help catch these things. Maybe it doesn't specifically address it. It can catch. And that's a lot of what we need, because it's about uplifting the community. It's about all boats rising with the tide. And that's what my campaign is about. It's about people over politics.
Thank you. I love that. That was like a similar kind of thing that I'm going to run, guys. That's it.
Do it.
Everybody, I'm running.
Do it. It's literally do it. It's so much fun.
So Sam wanted to show you a photo, I think, here. This is we're going to try to get it in the camera as much as we can here. This is Beto O'Rourke.
I love him.
Yes.
He came to my college.
It's so wonderful.
Because I was a part of a student org at UNT called Ted Cruz is My Daddy, where we just basically dumped on Republicans, and we got him to come help promote voters registration.
I love.
I'm gonna get in trouble on the floor, guys. I'm gonna end up laughing. Like Ted Cruz will say, or no, someone in the house is gonna say something stupid, and I'll be like,
Ted Cruz is my daddy.
But I did have a question, and I'm sorry, Aunt Sim, I know you've had your hand up. But last year,
nope, that was my mistake. I forgot to take it down. You're good, love.
Okay. Because last year, I had a a GTC, which is a generalized tonic-clonic seizure, formerly known as grand mal. And I went to the hospital and they over-medicated me on a crap ton of benzos. And I don't remember it, but I got really aggressive and assaulted a peace officer and kicked a nurse in the chest, and I ended up in jail for 2 weeks and got indicted. And I had to spend the whole year fighting that. And those charges are going to be expunged, but what are you going to do about that tough on crime thing? Because luckily the prosecutor was really great, and she and my attorney both said lack of memory is not equivalent to lack of insight, because my attorney and had said that in order to commit a crime there had to be intent, and there wasn't. But right now I'm still having to get that expunged. I just got to send the papers into my attorney. But how are you going to address that? Because I've never been in trouble in my life up until
Yeah,
now.
I think that when we take the money out of our prison system, and take the money out of our criminal system, in the sense that you shouldn't be rewarded to prosecute, especially when it comes to these, like, where it's like mental health related or it's seizure related, like in your case, where you've been put on medication. If you know something, if you're having a reaction, a trained professional should be able to respond to that. We know that our medical system is very pulled to the stretched to its limits. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough professionals who can handle these types of situations. And that quite often leads to police involvement, because if they can't handle it and they're stretched too thin, and there's not the proper, if each hospital is not properly funded and doesn't have the option to how
This was UT Southwestern in Texas, the #1
yeah.
hospital in DFW. And the nurse that this happened to, I don't even remember who all was there, but the nurse said that I absolutely meant to do that.
Yeah, to speak to that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be their thing, but there is also that there is that aspect of our criminal system is built currently to make money off of arrest and to put people in prison. So there is the argument to be made that because it wasn't you specifically, they just have to meet a quota, and if you make enough of the guy, like you tick enough boxes, you're off. You know, there are a lot of police officers here in Tennessee that if they pull you over for a DUI, even they won't do a test while you're here. They'll just take you to jail to do a blood test instead of. And then some people are getting arrested and going through this huge legal process, and it takes a while to get the results back. And they've ended up wrongly accused with a DUI. So that is something that's going on in the state of Tennessee. So if it's similar to that, where they have these quotas that they have to meet, which is what happened, then you have these situations that should have never happened to begin with. And because of that, you are harmed. Your livelihood, your mental health, because this is stressful, are also harmed. And that shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't do that. So yeah. I hate that this happened to you. That's unacceptable. That shouldn't be the response.
Charges like that can also affect housing, can affect, because signing up for a place to rent, you can't rent if you have XYZ on your record. It definitely affects education, and just employment in general, and just beyond even that, there's the stigma of having that hang over a person's head when there are not enough police officers, nursing staff, doctors that are trauma informed, that know how to handle these sorts of things. And I think there is so much we could talk about in terms of the medical system, and reforms that need to be done on the federal level, not just state by state, but
And
like
there's a
across the land.
criminalization of mental health issues. There was a active movement. I don't remember exactly where it was. It's like flickering in the back of my mind. I'm going to be so mad thinking about this later tonight. because I'm like, oh, that was what it was. But there was a push to, because there was a lot of cruelty in mental health and hospitalization, then there was this massive shift towards criminalization.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not acceptable. Like, we've got to find a happy medium between protecting your rights as an individual and making sure that your healthcare is provided, while also not criminalizing mental health, because you can't help it. That it's a brain makeup, and these things can be addressed when you have a society that prioritizes healthcare as a human right and not just as something you pay for and you wonder if you're going to go bankrupt going to the doctor.
Well, I was over medicated on propofol, Versed, Ativan, and 3 other meds that I can't remember. And my blood pressure was in the 70s, but they discharged me anyway.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
I'm dying to know about Sasha's drink order. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We didn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't do
No, we didn't do it.
that.
Okay. Sasha, hot or ice?
Ice.
Ice. What's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavors are mocha or chai.
Mocha. Do you get a mocha chai? There used to be like a drink there. I can't remember the name of it.
There was a mocha. Don't even tell me there was a mocha chai and nobody told me.
There was the year that one of the years that I worked there, it came out, it was like a mocha chai, and and people would get it dirty all the time.
Yeah, I get a dirty chai.
Dirty, yeah, dirty chai. I was gonna say, you could probably do that the next time you go.
You never even.
I don't know when you worked there, but I worked from 2012 to 2015.
2003 to 2000. No, wait. When did I graduate? 2002. So 2003 to 2005.
Okay. Yeah.
100 million years ago. But
it feels like it doesn't feel like it was over 10 years ago that I worked at the Bucks and I drank the green Kool-Aid and all the things, but
I didn't even think of getting maybe an iced mocha with some pumps of chai or something, or a chai, an iced chai latte with some pumps of mocha.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I just blew her mind.
You did.
Look, okay, if you ever get a hot chocolate at the Bucks, we're not crossing the picket line because we have to support our unions. But if you decide to go and get a hot chocolate, pumps of vanilla for a scoop of vanilla powder steamed in the milk. You're welcome.
Oh, okay.
Support your local businesses.
Yes, that.
I used to love to get and they don't make it anymore. And I think I don't think I invented it or anything, but I'm just going to say that I made it really popular, but I didn't necessarily invent it. I don't think, but I used to get vanilla bean, right? Vanilla bean frappuccino. And you would slice up a half a banana and Java chip. And it was so good.
We used to play all the time. The secret menu literally came from baristas who literally made their drinks.
Yes.
And then they were like, let me share with you, because I would make drinks for people all the time. When they did the refreshers.
Yeah.
There was the lime refresher, and I told people, I was like, leave an inch, go home, put some rum in it, go sit by the pool. But I would also, the one that I love to do was the vanilla bean frappuccino with Java chips and 1 pump of white mocha, and it would taste like an Oreo.
Oh, okay. See, and then in the rule book or whatever, it was anything cool that you make up and gets popular, you get nothing for it. It's it becomes proprietary to the place or whatever. So I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna share my creative genius here. I
was an opener, so I would do an undertow in the morning. I would make drinks for everyone.
Yeah.
And so that's an undertow is cream with a pump of I did vanilla, a pump or 2 of vanilla, and then a shot or 2 of espresso on top. And then when you shoot it, only the cream and vanilla touch your tongue.
Yeah.
So you shoot it and it goes and then I'm caffeinated up, and I would do about 6 of those before rush hour.
So I'm going to call this now. So when Victoria, when you are, of course, inevitably elected to the halls of Congress, and you are in whatever the new version of the squad is here, I can hear them calling you Victoria the barista the way they call AOC a bartender.
Oh, they're gonna call me. So, fun fact: when I play GTA, my gamer tag is Mini Barista.
I love that.
Because I had a Mini Cooper S because I'm a millennial and I watched Italian Job, and that is one of my favorite movies. So I bought a Mini Cooper, and I was a barista, and those happened in the same time frame. So here we go.
I love it. I think we need more of that energy, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Gotta work that mute button.
Yeah, sorry. The start bar wanted to keep coming up in the technology is so wonderful. Where would we be without it?
And this is live TV, y'all. Woo, live on
Live TV.
youtube.com at Hurricane Girls.
Victoria said the magic words, and my brain went, gaming? Gamer tag?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Do tell.
So I play a couple of video games. I did Sims for a while because like neurospicy, so obviously I go through times. GTA was my stress reliever when I worked at the Bucks because you know you get yelled at all day and get hot
Yes.
coffee dumped on your hands, and you
Yes.
need a little bit of an outlet. And I would also do that with my husband, who's a big car gamer dude. I would also he plays the Forza games, so I used to design his cars so he could sell them on like the game or whatever. Like I would do like graphic design on them. Yeah, again, I'm neurospicy, so I don't know what's gonna happen or what's gonna be my newest like love, but I'm gonna fall in love with something, and
I don't know
that will be my
anything.
personality.
I don't know anything about this besides I just finished my most recent playthrough of Skyrim, but yes, yeah, no, I love that. I feel that the fact that you need to decompress after a day. I work with taxpayers all day, and I wanna like, yeah, when it comes time, I wanna fucking slay a dragon. God damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
want to
been
steal a couple of cars and do some questionable things.
We're clipping this for your opponent's commercial
The
at this
opponent's over
point.
there. Okay, well, we haven't even talked about my opponent yet, and y'all's for if you haven't heard, you're just go ahead, pull the jaw back up
oh,
on me.
Mr. SD.
Scotty D. Should we talk about him? Should we pivot?
Why not? Let's get some tea in here.
So
What is he, Scotty Dean?
So Scott Desjardins is my political opponent. He is a 16-year incumbent. For those of you who don't know who he is, that's by design. He was elected in 2012. He is most famously known because after he was elected, it came out in divorce documents that he pulled a gun on his wife and forced her to get an abortion. There are also documents where he dry fired through the door. He's also forced 2 other partners to get abortions because they were his medical patients, because he's a medical professional and he was trading drugs for relations with his medical patients, and pregnancies ensued. He has been named the worst congressional candidate or conservative candidate by a conservative magazine in DC. The only reason you don't know about him is because, unlike Marjorie Taylor Greene before she went woke, he was, he's just pretty quiet. He is anti Juneteenth, anti LGBTQA plus. Obviously, he found Jesus, is what he says, and that's why
I
he
was
has been
wondering where
forgiven
people
for
put
his
him.
abortions. He was forgiven for his abortions that he did. He has been caught in closed door sessions in the district saying that if he speaks to constituents, he loses votes. And this is our representative for U.S. Congress. And he was re-endorsed by the pedo in charge, Donald J. Trump, here recently. So if you want to know anything about him, that is who he is. His votes reflect everything I just talked about.
And this is all documented because I've
All
followed it.
documented. Yeah.
Yes.
All
This is
documented.
not your
I
opinion.
mean, I'm glad at least somebody figured out where Jesus was, because I've been looking for him. But
I'm not going to make my joke. I'm not going to make my joke.
I made several jokes about that today. Somebody was talking about how much they were having a personal relationship with Jesus. This
Oh,
is not me. This is not me speaking for Victoria. I would like to add this is not Victoria's viewpoints, but I said I love Jesus with all his extra holes.
Oh, I was just going to ask if they nailed him down yet.
oh.
That was Victoria.
That was,
Yes.
it's my favorite thing I've
Love
ever
you,
heard in my
Morgan.
life.
Yes. No, I think yeah, he sounds like somebody. He sounds like an absolute shit.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
why would anybody vote for a pile of absolute dog shit?
he's a Republican.
I was gonna say it sounds like the perfect Republican.
I mean, he
Right.
ticks all the boxes.
But he's
Yeah,
pro-family
but he's pro family.
Of course.
with all them abortions and shit and all the
Of
guns flashing
course.
around.
Yeah, his daughter just graduated high school, and I just felt myself, I wanted to comment as his political opponent, being like, I feel sorry for her that you're her father. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
poor girl, that's her father, and he looks like a potato. So,
I'm gonna say this.
Forget everything else. He looks like a potato.
Potato, right?
Forget
Hey, you
everything
don't
else. He
count.
looks like a potato.
Oh yeah, you look like a
Oh,
sweet
yeah, you don't.
potato.
Yeah, oh yeah, you don't count. You know you've been around for a while. I only call him a potato because like Good Trouble says that a lot. You know.
Like, I mean, the fact that these guys are in power baffles me right now.
Mhm.
And I understand he lays low. He stays below the radar. He stays out of the newspapers or whatever like that. But honestly, like you are running a clean pro family platform there. It's
Mhm.
like pro, you know, pro kids, pro puppies, pro fucking living like you want to live.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like, what else do you want when you've got a bunch of goddamn pedophiles and rapists and like I really get so tired of hearing the moralizing coming from the
Mhm.
right. Because it comes at me a lot because obviously, everybody looks at me and it's like, stay away from the children. Sorry, I can't. I have six. Um, like stay away from the children as opposed to who? The Mr. Go into the pageant dressing room, grab him by the pussy, Mr. Trump there, like as opposed to God, who is the latest politician that's been caught with minors lately? Like, just
That was
open up a
Swalwell,
news.
I think, right?
Yeah.
And even in Tennessee, we have, and I was going to mention this because I don't know if this is in your district, but there was a school district where, God, I wish I could remember which one it was. It was a school board member just was in a board meeting telling a student, God, you're hot, and then reaching around
Oh
and
That
yeah.
was,
touching.
I think that was in East Nashville, or not East Nashville, East Tennessee. But I mean, yeah, saying that with his whole chest.
Mm.
Mhm.
And,
And
you
I
know,
watched that 100 times because everybody's like, no, no, he's saying she's on fire. I'm like, no, the fuck he was not.
These are
Yeah.
the
For
same people who
y'all.
said
No,
that Trump was a doctor, not Jesus.
no, and then everybody's like, like it's like a compliment. Like it's like, oh, like, oh, so
But this
gross.
is in our
it's
state, Victoria. It's in our
this is our
state.
representation.
Yeah.
This is who Andy Ogle's out here talking about, being Islamophobic openly. You have, Bill Lee, who just signed that the month of June, the whole month of June is nuclear family month. Well, I'm about to take my nuclear family to Pride to see some drag queens and commune with the gays. Like this is the state of Tennessee, and it's not because we're a red state. We're a non-voting state that's voter suppressed, and because we've had this crap representation, because the Democrats have done a terrible job messaging. They abandon marginalized communities left, right, and center to get votes that never materialize. We have a state where people don't feel represented. They don't feel when a candidate comes along, they're like, is this real? They keep waiting like for the shoe to drop and for something shady to come out about me. And I'm like, the only thing shady about me is I've got tattoos. Like,
Shameful.
how dare you?
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
Right.
like, this is what they've made the boogeyman this like big thing. And you know, Democrats need to do better. We need to stop abandoning marginalized communities just because we think we're going to
Thank
get
you.
votes. Swing voters aren't worried about LGBTQIA plus or worried about, you know, whatever Republican talking point that is this week. They are worried about the economy. They are worried about their communities. They are worried about this education system falling through. They are not worried about what's going on in the bathroom. And my Tennessee state legislator is Janice Bowling, and I have videos about her. She is a state senator, and she is the one who's talked about cat litter in the back and like in the
Oh,
classroom.
for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Like literally was passing like, and this is a representation. This
I
is what this is.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butt
No,
in
no,
on
you're
you, but
fine.
I waited and waited and waited throughout the 2024 election cycle. I waited for somebody on the Democratic side because there were like we trans women were in the fucking campaigns. They were, you know, Kamala is for they them, not for you. You know, things like that. We were fucking waiting
Mm-hmm.
for somebody on a major platform to say, you know what? Not say that trans women are women necessarily or trans men are men, but saying trans people have a right to exist in our society without harm. That's all it would have taken. Honestly, we could not even get fucking that. Everybody was like, throw the trans people off the platform, throw them
Yeah,
off, get rid of them.
every time.
Because, but again, how'd that work out for you, Democrats?
Not well. And I
Right.
will say this, Gloria Johnson, who's here in the state of Tennessee, one of the first times I heard someone talk about trans rights being human rights, the way she framed it, the way she talks about it, I'm actually she's one of the speakers at an event this coming Friday. I just was like, here's this woman who looks like she's not going to be this progressive. She's not, she's an older woman, no children of her own. She didn't have it. She was a teacher. Those were her children. And she's talking about it saying, why do you think this is an issue with her MAGA in law? And talking them off the ledge, talking them like down. And I've started ingraining that into my own platform, which I mean, you know, when I'm in a rural community, sometimes I say it flat out, trans rights are human rights. And if that is a breaking factor for you, I'm not the candidate for you. But this is the other guy. I was like, my job is to protect everyone and protect their rights. I don't say freedom as part of my platform as some sort of like, I'm just saying it because it's the American thing. I'm saying it because I believe in freedom. Maybe you don't get that. But what about the economy? Like, what about your prices? The trans people are not hurting you. They're not harming your community. You're being told the wrong person is harming you.
We're
And
we're
we
not
don't
we're not putting tariffs on the goods that you buy.
exactly. And it's reframing. And it, you know, people wonder how you have those conversations, but I'm steadfast. I'm not going to abandon marginalized communities for a vote. If that's what I need, that I'm the wrong person for the job. Like I want to be 10 toes down, and that garners respect. Even with Republicans who might disagree. They might not agree that trans rights are human rights, but they agree with the integrity that I bring to the table, and that they know where I stand on the issue, and they know how I'm gonna vote. They're not gonna have to worry about their taxes going up because I've given a billionaire a little bit of an extra yacht. You know, like they're not gonna have to worry about that. But I'm not going to abandon marginalized communities. It's just not right.
It's not. Oh yeah.
Just real quick on what that is. We love a WYSIWYG. We love a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. We love one. But the question, or not question, I'm going to make a comment that's my opinion person that does not reflect the opinion of Victoria Broderick. but how can you be Islamophobic with all those fire Lego music videos that are coming out?
Yeah,
How can you like they had
just
they it is
saying.
every one of them. Every one of them. I'm not even a rap fan. The one they put out for Cash Patel today was great. Or today or yesterday. That's more up my alley. But still, how can you and you don't have to speak on this, but I felt the need after you talked about a candidate or a person that's in office that is Islamophobic. Like, first of all, fuck that.
Mhm.
Fuck that running, walking, sitting, standing in a canoe, wherever. Just fuck it. Not in
Noted.
that way. Not in this way. But anyway, yeah. So that's immediately what came to mind. It's like if Islamophobia still.
Yeah. That's Andy Ogles. For anyone wondering, that's Andy Ogles.
Oh God, it
Um,
is. Yes.
yeah. And I mean,
Is
this
Andy
is
Ogle
like
actually animated? Is he a cartoon? Because he really seems like he would be a cartoon.
he is so like he is like a stereotypical like Trump like loyalist. Where it's like I don't think that I used to do it on lives all the time where I'd be like, if you can give me one original thought, I'll drop off the live. One, just one. And they can't do it. It's
No.
all a talking point off the like flips to page. This is what I'm going to talk about today. And it's all the same stuff. And almost always it circles right back around to the same things. It's like I would do it all the time on USMC's lives where I would be like, all right, you didn't vote for Kamala. Was it race? Was it gender? Was it what was the other one? Something else. Anyway, but I would do it and it would always come back to those three things. It like it didn't matter what I did. And it literally I'd be like, one, I used to tick boxes, like you know how I was on that, and that's what it came down to. But it's to try and get votes, and it only works with a certain base and a certain type of person.
Yeah, there's not original thought between any of them.
It's like the orange cat thing, but worse and less cute.
Well, I think we've really touched on on a lot of things here tonight, Victoria. I think that we have covered some important ground that's important to us and important to your constituents as well. Like I said, I know what it's like living out in rural Tennessee, where it's, basically Mayberry, but
Mm-hmm.
less people. And just we're still out there.
Yep.
Like, queer people, lesbian, gays, bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, ace, all the pluses. We're out there, even in the middle of Bug Tussle, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, and from Nashville to Saudi Daisy, we're out there. We're looking for representation. You, I think, are the person, one of the people who can do that and who can change my home state for the better, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk to you tonight. Um, and we've talked on things that are near and dear to my heart, especially when my daughter Sam got on
Mm-hmm.
here, and we're talking about things that literally can save the lives of my children,
Mm-hmm.
give them a better quality of life, keep them from becoming victims of the system. We've talked about, with Sasha, how we can deal with social issues. We've talked about representation of queer people. We've talked about representation of neurodivergence,
Mm-hmm.
women, all of these things. And I think we've really gotten to know you as a person. I do want to, we usually close out the show with our final thoughts, because kind of a round robin where we give our final thoughts. And that's where I want to start tonight, and go back to, and Mary is sitting there in the dark.
Poor Mary.
Power went out. I think we should legislate something about that.
And performing
Um,
Did
rituals.
Ted Cruz run
yeah,
away?
yes. Well, no,
Well, it's supposed to be.
if it's raining and storming, Ted Cruz goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
He's not here anyway, thank fuck. Anyway,
thank God. So Mary, we're going to start with you with final thoughts for tonight.
Okay, well, as always, I wrote them down. I'm gonna have to read them by candlelight because
Oh,
consumers went out and I won't have it back until about 2 a.m., they said.
It's almost April 25th, so it's like the perfect date.
And that's when
That is
you
bad timing.
that's when you get to wake up in the middle of the night with all of your lights just washed all over you. Yeah.
Well, I sleep with a nightlight anyway. I'm that much of a weenie, but I've never lived alone before now, so I that's my excuse. This is my first
That's
time
right.
in 50 years of life. I've never lived alone, so
You don't
and
look
now
like
it's only
50. I was
part-time.
gonna say but maybe 40.
Thanks, but no. I'm turning, what is today? The 21st. So I'm turning 50 4 weeks from today.
You're older
Okay.
than
So
me. You're older
Yeah,
than
but you're a
me.
grandma. Point mine. Anyway, so my final and I swear it's gonna go somewhere. So we've been sitting here, talking about all of the things that are underrepresented. I'm the salty historian because I talk about women in history. Because one of my favorite things to say is that when a man is called legend, he's going down in history for having done something great. When a woman is called legend, she is being erased from history for doing something great. So I have an example of that as Frances Perkins. She was the first woman to ever serve on a presidential cabinet. She was the labor secretary. Men hated her, but FDR liked her ideas. Social Security, Frances. Unemployment, Frances. Workman's comp, Frances. She got everything she asked for, save for one thing. And now we call that the New Deal. But if you look it up, you will only see FDR's name attached to it. And he was okay with taking credit for it, but he was sorry. And it's obviously not a unique story in history by any means. And like I said earlier, that shit right there is a prime example of why I appreciate so much. And I'm so happy that you're running as fully yourself without editing, without putting shadows on something, without being like, well, maybe. I'm not going to answer that one. So thank you, sincerely. And but Sheila, before you move on, do you want to guess the one thing that she wasn't able to get past in the New Deal? Universal health care.
Oh my God.
Because medical companies and the medical field lobbied against her.
Lobbyist, man. Have you ever watched the History Chicks? Or listen to the History Chicks?
I don't watch other historians just because I'm very self-critical, and I know if I watch them do it, I'm going to be like, I fall short. I'm going to measure myself against them. We're like, I fall short, and I'll shut down my account.
They do women in history, and I used to listen to them on my drives to work or at work while I was working.
I hated history until TikTok, and it was a misogynist that got me involved. So,
and I love them. They only do women. That's my
same.
She only does women too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've come across her page. Okay, like I've slept since then, but I just
okay. I mean, and it was my intro that got Sheila
I didn't mean
to
it that
invite
way.
me. Oh,
I didn't mean it that way, Mary.
No, but it was my intro that got you to invite me onto the show. So I will always be happy that I came up with that.
It was the women in history you've never heard of, and I wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't either. And that hooked me right into you, Mary. And I followed your channel, and somehow you followed me back, and then
I
history
fangirled
was
over
made, right? And then we had Miss Emily on the show, and then you got divorced.
Yes, it was Miss Emily's fault. No, really, because she told her story, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's me."
Literally,
so, yeah.
the guests on this show changed people's lives.
Yes, 100%.
Honestly.
So anyway, thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I got the chance to talk to you. And I'm just, the longer we spoke with you, the happier I got. So it's nice to look forward to. And you're not going to die anytime before I do. I don't cover women who are still alive because their stories they're not done making history. But
yeah,
I hope that
I'm here.
The future. I hope that the future salty historian is looking back in history and telling your story as one of the strong women who stood up and represented the people who didn't have it. So I appreciate that.
Hillary, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
I met Elizabeth Warren back in 2016, and you're giving me the same vibes as her. She is one of my queens, and you are now added to the queendom of Democrat women. And I wanted to just tell you, I have total faith in you. And I am so fucking excited that you can be that bitch that goes up there and freaking proves that neurodivergent people can be out there in politics. It's important that we have representation.
I think Hillary might move to Tennessee just to vote for you.
Yeah,
Do it.
and you know what? I'm also a Swiftie, so your girl wouldn't mind being in Tennessee, the world of Taylor. So
I can't help you on the Swift. I am a newer Swiftie. I can't.
you know what though? New as a Swiftie that's been a Swiftie since literally the first album, we welcome you to the Swiftiedom.
Oh
Any
my god.
Oh,
That's an official welcome.
we will you have an official welcome from a Swiftie who works at her big stadium, the stadium that she considers her home stadium, Gillette Stadium.
Ooh.
If
I love
Hillary
that.
had a sword, she would tap it on each of your shoulders.
Yes,
think
I
at this
would.
point.
I
Love it
would.
so
You
much.
have been dubbed a Swiftie, and I also have dubbed you badass as I do with Elizabeth Warren. And I'm so grateful that I got a chance to actually speak to you and ask you a question on like neurodivergence, because that is very hard for people to deal with and to explain and to know that you can be just as valuable and useful as those who are neurotypical. And I thank you so much for being one of those badasses that's going out there and kicking ass and taking names in that manner. We need that.
Thank you, Hillary. And I want to say, Elizabeth Warren, I listened to her podcast years ago when she was running for office. And there was something that stuck with me, and I do it at every single one of my events, where she stays and takes selfies with every single person. And I do that, where I stay until every single person gets an opportunity to talk to me. And that is something I do. And it's hundreds of people sometimes, and it is worth it every single time. So love that I get to be in a category with a baddie like Elizabeth Warren, and
Yep.
we're gonna bring it home.
Hugged her and
Praise that.
everything, walked with her in her little campaign, and have a shirt that says persist on it that she gave me herself.
Mhm.
And you are dubbed badass like her as well as a Swiftie.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, your final thoughts for tonight.
Um, I just feel like it's a little bit, I don't want to say full circle because this shape is still forming. But I will continue to follow you. I will continue to cheer from your neighbor state. Um, I mean, we at least we have good senators here. We have Warnock and Ossoff, and I like both of them. Um, but you're working on a state level, and that and city level are where so many changes that we need to see happen need to be focused on with laser precision like you have it. And I just am so um proud of you. I know that doesn't like here's a card, it's cash it in. It says that Ollie is proud of you. But I'm just as a person who is othered constantly. Um and for you to fit so many othering categories as well and still be out there doing the damn thing, fuck yeah. You are awesome. Keep it up.
Alia, I love you. Thank you so much. I love that you talked about my bestie, Mr. USMC. He's my ride or die. I was just in the state of Georgia. I have lived in Tennessee for a long time, but I went to middle school in Georgia, in the Lilburn area. I was just there. I walked Stone Mountain. I made my exchange student, my 5-year-old, walk up the mountain
Oh no.
because I love exercise. We did it in 30 minutes, guys. Like I said, puppy dog energy. But I love you. Thank you so much for talking about all of the things and, following me for so long and the support. It really does mean the world to me.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Sim, your final thoughts. W Sim.
I didn't hear you call my name. I literally just heard you say your final thoughts without a name attached.
You need more than 3 letters in your name, so it can be like
I literally just heard your final. I'm like, there's. So evidently, I need to get my hearing checked. So I think first I just want to say that I really appreciate the opportunity that this conversation has had, to kind of get your perspective on a lot of different things. Even though I don't live in Tennessee, I know a lot of people that do reside in that area. And I think could be definitely on the receiving end a lot of changes that you want to make. So I think I appreciate you coming on to our platform and kind of talking about it. I know that the question I asked you earlier was kind of it's kind of a hardball question, and I asked it with purpose, not to um, get you in a gotcha or anything like that, but to because I think it's important to kind of have those hard conversations, about things. And because we're all living with things that are very difficult. And, I used probably the most light example of the parking, right? Of course. But, I think when we talk about people with disabilities, we're also talking about, disabled bathrooms and things like that, and how important that is, not only in a recreational setting, but in a work setting, and things like that. So enforcement of those things, is central to people being able to function in those communities and thrive, which I think then has a more of a direct impact to, releasing a lot of the stress that's put on things like Medicaid, right? If we create a better system to giving people access to the needs that they have, and enforcing those things, then we take less of the stress off of, the government, where they're having no other option but to apply for services that, maybe they wouldn't otherwise need if we had a better environment, a better community, that addressed that accessibility needs. So I applaud you for the way that you answered it. And I don't want you to think for a second that I was trying to put you in a hot seat to catch you in anything. I just, as a therapist, Sheila will tell you, I'm a therapist by trade. So my job is to kind of plant seeds, right? And so I think my final thought is just, I think that I hope that you carry forward with the things that we talked about here as a group, and that it can kind of help you in your awareness as you. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm gonna kind of put it out there that as you navigate your win, and go through things, right? That you can kind of look back on that conversation and go, yeah, I remember, kind of being aware of it, being made aware of an issue that I hadn't thought about before. So, I'm going to manifest that for you. And I hope to see you continue to do great things.
Thank you, Sim. I really appreciate it. And trust me, I went to a forum in my first congressional run, and they told me it was going to be all softball questions. And I went to that forum completely blindsided. They were all hardball. Literally, I was like, when I say you fake it till you make it, that's what I did. I literally answered the questions in the way that I could answer them. And when I tell you, the Republican county chair came up to me in this rural county and said, "You sound like a moderate. I would vote for you." I was like, I win. I walked out. I was like, that's my whole personality. I did it. But it allows for blind spots. Those hardball questions, that's what I called it. But it allows me now, next time I'll have a better answer, and I'll have more of an awareness. And politicians, we can't be two-dimensional anymore. I always equate it to Hollywood. We have to be a triple threat. Not only do we have to be educated and understand the different nuances and intersectionality, we have to be personable. We have to be able to be the person you want to go home and you want to let's go to the bar. Let's grab some water if you don't drink, because we accept all things. And then we also have to be able to be dynamic and be so that you could feel like you want to hang out with me through the phone and understand what I'm saying, and I'm personable and all that. And I look professional, but also relatable. So it's all those things. And what you asked is important, and candidates should be able to give an answer, as well as say, you know what? I don't know, but I'm going to give you the best answer that I have to address what you're asking. So I appreciate you. I will take it to heart, as well as we want accessibility. As a neurodivergent person who has some learning disabilities, I have to be able to be accessible, and I want the world to be accessible. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sasha, that brings us to you. What's your final thought?
So I feel like Victoria is going to be who I drunk dial at 3 a.m.
Can I make that a request?
Victoria, he did it again. He did it again. She's like, who? but
What's
but
up?
Well, the question she really wants to ask is, which Hurricane girl is your favorite and why is it me?
why isn't it me? Tell me the truth.
Like, I don't play favorites.
No, but for real, sort of. Yeah, I mean, although, like, you know, like as I mentioned before, like I'm in California, right? So I know that, but I don't want to say that. So like what you do doesn't matter because it doesn't affect me, because it does. You know, it's important that we have as many people from as many places, like all on the same page, right? Because it's like a ripple, right? Like everybody's little contribution in their state creates big changes, right? So I really enjoyed listening to everything that you said. I don't feel like you're talking out of your ass. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you're fake. I don't feel like, and I'm very like leery of a lot of people. You know, my people were colonized. So
As a colonizer, I apologize for all colonizers.
So I'm just very leery anyway, you know, but I feel like like I said, I genuinely feel like I could call you at 3 a.m. crying because God, you know, my boyfriend dumped me or whatever. But
And
I
I'd be
also,
like, don't tell me any details. I'm bringing the shovel. See you in like 30.
but I also feel like you are definitely the person that I would also be like, this is who's going to represent me. Go run, Victoria, go, you know? And that's not easy to pull off, you know, that's not easy. So I look forward to your win. I am manifesting it too. And I can't wait to see how you interact and make plans and collaborate with other Democrats that, you know, like I said, it's like a ripple effect, right? Everybody working together can create big change. So,
and we are talking about the U.S. House of Representatives here, so
yes.
it does affect us in
Yes.
a major way.
Yes.
And by the way, if you can't vote for her, you can vote with some dollars. Go to is it victoriafortennessee.org?
Yeah, Victoria, the number 4, .com or .org. You can see my entire platform there. I am running on safety, affordability, freedom, and equity. So let's make it safe.
Love that.
In 2026, we are bringing change. And to speak to what Sasha said, we have to stop ignoring the South. The South has something to say. And if Democrats from across the country can understand that the South isn't just, it's not red. We're gerrymandered, we're oppressed, we are discouraged from voting. And the reason that you should be supporting candidates like me is I don't take APAC money, I don't take corporate PAC money. I am a grassroots, small dollar candidate, and I believe in what I am doing. And if you want to see better representation, it takes you showing up to vote. But you have to decide if you want to be a player on the field or the turf that politicians want to walk on.
And you can, at our website, you can donate $5 to $250. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be a lot, but every little bit counts.
Every person gets a handwritten thank you card. I wrote over 4,000 in 2024, and I believe in what I am doing. So I don't, Sheila, do you have anything to say? I know we have like an interesting dynamic too, because like I followed you and all that. Like,
yes, I can't remember who followed who first, but
I think it was there was some drama that brought us together.
Sounds like a little villains guild type drama.
There was some drama because I don't do well with certain mediocre men. So anyway,
me either, honey, me either.
Alia was there for
Rock
that.
I like where
Margaret,
this is going.
that's an
Watch it.
Just
offline
saying.
conversation because I'm
I
making
like
some
where this is
changes in the
going.
guild. Um,
I literally have it tattooed on my body, but that's that brought a lot of great women into my life. So
mhm.
I'm
And I
thankful to
appreciate
it.
you
I
being
appreciate
that
you
and
too.
stepping up and, believing. Because it's hard when we have these relationships, but she's days and gays, no dangerous people left, right, and center, and we've got to protect each other.
Always, always, and
Always.
I'm the girl's girl all the
Mhm.
time. Period. And this show started on that guild's radio station.
Mhm.
And when that went down, we
Mhm.
left. We set out on our own, and now we know lamb chop. And so yeah, we literally got to hang out with lamb chop on this show
That's so cool.
because we broke up. But yeah, and now we're here with you. So yeah, no, where tell us all of your socials, where we can find you, all of those things.
Yeah, so Victoria, the number 4 Congress, TN, I think for
Mhm.
TikTok and whatnot. But
Mhm.
you can go to my website; all the links are there. You can see about my platform. You can go to my Instagram, Facebook. I still have my TikTok. I finally broke 16,000 followers on TikTok, but I would
Woo! Look
love
at
for that
you.
to grow. I would love for that to grow because like I tell people, if all those 16,000 people, if they only donated $1, literally that would cover most of my campaign expenses a month and I wouldn't have to ask for more money. So that shows you what grassroots candidates could do. And imagine if you did that over like 10 candidates. You're only spending $10 a month and 10 candidates get $1 from you and a bunch of people do that. Literally changes how this works. And
Mhm.
to pull the margins that I did in 2024 with the short amount of time, and I'm up against a $500,000 war chest says everything about my campaign and what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
representation is what you make it. And the only thing that the Republican Party and the pedos in charge are more afraid of than the Epstein files is you showing up to vote. So use your
Mhm.
superpower.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Love, love that.
And all you show in the website on
Mm-hmm.
cam there, just $5. There's but little buttons. I'm sure you can adjust it upwards if you
Mm-hmm.
need to, but
Yeah.
$5, $10, $250, whatever you have, even if you're not in that district, um, Tennessee is a place that needs people like Victoria. I'm a Memphis native. I'm a Memphis chick. Um, our state deserves to have someone who is a representative for all. And don't let these MAGA fucks fool you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there to represent you. They're there to represent big corporations, big big money, billionaires. They're there to represent the Epstein clientele. They're there to take your money and get the fuck out. And they don't care how they leave us. They don't care how they leave us.
Mm-hmm.
And since this is my final thought, I want to share Sam's final thought that she whispered to me as she was going on. We need people like you making laws that help people like her that will one day save my child's life, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's literally the kind of reform that she needs. As
Mm-hmm.
someone who struggles with physical and mental disabilities, she needs people like you looking after her in the halls of Congress, and not the people who are looking out for the CEOs, not the people who are looking out for the big spenders, the people who are looking out for the people of this country. And that I believe strongly. And, I can go into LGBTQ issues. We're the black sheep of the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I walk out every day not knowing whether something's going to happen to me because I'm a trans woman who chooses to live her life loud and proud.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can do that. but knowing that there are people out there like you that are trying to make a good positive change and trying to make inroads in our halls of government makes me feel a little bit better as I go to sleep tonight. So thank you, Victoria, for running. You know, we're gonna go ahead and have that victory party. Um, gosh,
Everyone's gonna invite it. Everyone come to the
yes,
victory party.
we're
So much fun.
celebrating. We'll rerun this show that day. That's for damn sure. But yeah. So for everybody else out there, again, go to Victoria for Tennessee.org.com and drop a couple of bucks if you can, or just show her support on the socials on TikTok. And give her a follow and give her a boost because every little bit helps. And thank you so much for coming and being on the show tonight. For those of you who are looking ahead, we will next month we'll be talking to Crystal Bowersox from American Idol. We'll be talking to Lotus Inc. from TikTok, my friend Ashley. Next week we will be talking to Kate Luckenbill, who is a fantastic person in her own right. Let me put that right out there. She just happens to be the grandchild of one Lucille Ball. And so we're going to get to know a little bit about that, but a lot more about her because she's just incredible. I've gotten to know her over the past week or two. Can't wait to talk to her next week and can't wait to talk to you again from Winner's Circle, Victoria, as soon as possible. But for tonight, it's been a great conversation and I have singing the girl power songs in my head right now and hoping for the best for the future. But for now, for Hurricane Alia, for Hurricane Hillary, Hurricane Sasha, Hurricane Mary over there in the dark, Hurricane Sim, for Hurricane Sam over there playing Skyrim on the couch, and for our hurricane sister, Hurricane Victoria. Here, I am Hurricane Sheila Chappelle, America's ex-girlfriend, Category 5, Hurricane Girl, saying, chin up, tits out, ladies. And we're going to close with one of my newer songs here. This is one, a tribute to a loved one who passed 3 years ago. This is called Before I Was Ready.
18 years old, freshman in college. Wonder what I'd do if I had the knowledge of how the next 35 years would change. From going with you to that basketball game. Decades of friendship, traveling the globe. Who knew one ride would be that long road? Through thick and thin, and light in the dark, we grew closer than siblings in each other's hearts. Now you're gone, God, life's so unfair. One day we're laughing, the next you're not there. Nights of talking, road trips we go on. Now your big laugh is gone. I'm all alone. I'm trying and trying, but I'm not steady because you there for each other where others gave up. More than a brother, more than a friend, a platonic life partner all the way to the end. Then it came time to admit who I am, come out of the closet to my best friend. You were the last person I wanted to tell. Couldn't bear it if you damned me to hell, but you loved me through it, didn't hurt me a bit. Talked about us taking another road trip. I hold on to that talk for all it's worth, 'cause it's the last conversation we had on this earth. And now you're gone, God, life ends so fast, but I'm grateful you knew the real me at last. You could have left me out in the dark, but you held on to this girl, save my heart. I'm trying and trying, but I'm not steady, because you left me. Oh, you left me before I was ready. You were gone before I was ready. Because you left me.